Well, welcome to GeekyDreadful. Tonight's episode, we bring a special statement. If you are in the DC universe, avoid John Glover at all costs. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Rob.
And if you can tell by our special PSA for everyone living in the DC universes across the galaxy, we just saw Shazam.
Yes. And boy, was it great.
It really was. So, Shazam was one that we were definitely looking forward to, partly because we are fans of the director.
Mm-hmm. The character himself was one that I didn't remember, I never really read any of the comics, and I didn't really remember him on Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, but then when we watched Young Justice, which was a really good, it really introduced him in a great way to people who were not familiar with him.
Yeah, I wasn't super familiar with the character, and I remember watching an episode where he was kind of a focus, he was working with the team, and I'm like, he acts like such a kid. And then
cool, Tiger, I'll be right back.
And then at the end, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Honestly, Clarion would be a great rival for Shazam.
Yeah, okay. That's a little off topic there.
Yeah.
But the movie, no, we were excited about it because of the director, who, while we had some issues with his previous movie, we still overall enjoyed it, and we were curious to see what he would bring as a horror director, especially after seeing Aquaman.
She's referring to Lights Out. We actually have not seen Annabelle Creation yet.
Oh, right. I forgot.
Yes.
But this was really good, and it was a great way to introduce Shazam to theatrical audiences, the general populace. I mean, it was a fun movie with some really freaky parts in it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tell when the horror directors do superhero movies when there's those scenes, be it like with Aquaman and The Trench, and then this one and The Seven Sins.
Mm-hmm.
That are just, yeah, this is definitely their comfort zone.
Yeah, they didn't shy away from the horror element. But gosh, he did so good with the family element, though.
Yes. And I mean, I kind of expected that, because I mean, Lights Out, while it wasn't the best with it, the dynamic he displayed in Lights Out with Rebecca
and her little brother.
And her brother and the mom, it did show that he really does have a good grasp on on dynamics like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that family dynamics, character dynamics, and relationship building is definitely not something that he shies away from. So, it was really fun and a little scary at times, and
it had a lot of heart.
It did.
Humor, horror, heart.
Yeah, the 3 H's. It also had some great Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Including another Annabelle Easter egg. Spoiler alert, sorry about that. But, spoiler alert, Annabelle is in this one too. So Annabelle is invading the DCEU.
Someone called Constantine.
She's gonna be the big bad of the next Justice League movie.
I'd buy that.
I mean, I'd pay to see it. I'd pay.
I think a lot of people would.
So, but anyway, so we'll get into the characters. Of course, obviously, the predominant one is Billy Batson, aka Shazam. And I know everyone's so focused on Zachary Levi and everything, but oh my gosh, Asher Angel was so good.
I remember when he was cast and when they said that they were taking from Jeff Johns' New 52 run, and a lot of people were groaning at that because they thought that Billy was kind of a dick in that comic. And Now, I've never read it, so I can't say, but...
I only have seen Justice League War. That's as close as I've come to.
Which is not the best.
And he was kind of a dick in that.
Yeah, and this, he starts up, I mean, there's a couple, there's really one scene, I mean, I know he does irresponsible things when he's a hero, but the only scene where I was just like, what is wrong with you? Was the scene with Darla, where...
Darla is the youngest. She's the little black girl, and she's the baby of the family. She's, oh my gosh, she is precious.
And she is so... The second he's in the house, she basically considers him family. She hugs him. She made a gift for... She made like a...
She considered him family before he walked through the door. They told her, hey, you're getting a new brother Billy. And she was like, welcome home, Billy!
And at school the next day, she tries to hug him again, and he's like, you don't have to do that. We're not really brother and sister. And
she just gets so upset.
Yeah, and I just...
like, I'm sorry.
But,
I mean, I you know...
You see it, you wonder, because he's been...
You get why, but you're also just like, she is a little girl!
Yeah, you get why he's closed off from everybody, but it just...
It's hard to watch.
Yeah. She's just so cute.
She's precious.
I feel like quoting that random villain in the Animaniacs movie. She's the cute one, man. The unbelievably cute one.
Yes. Oh, they should include that in the sequel.
But no, Billy is... Yeah, and...
Asher was just so good.
Oh, yeah. Especially in the... one particular scene. We're not going to get into spoilers.
Too many spoilers,
too
anyway.
Many spoilers,
but there's a very big particular scene. It's a big moment for him, and it's kind of a turning point, honestly.
Yeah, it's part of his arc.
And he's just so good. He does such a good job at being kind of that closed off, slightly jerkish because of his circumstances, teenage boy, but also just being that lost little boy.
Yeah, I actually want to get into another aspect of this, and this is actually my big problem with the movie. Now, when I say big problem, it doesn't detract from the movie for me. Mm-hmm. But, okay, not to take away anything from Zachary Levi, because I really enjoyed Zachary Levi as Shazam. Mm-hmm. But my problem in parts of the movie was they did not feel like the same character. Now, you could say that maybe it was because he was in this identity, he was being more free. Mm-hmm. Like, he could just...
I think it was.
Yeah, so I kind of took it at that, but I don't know, there were little parts where it didn't feel authentic. It wasn't a lot, there weren't a lot of those, mm-hmm. but... Yeah, that was my big... That was probably my biggest issue with the movie. Mm-hmm. Just there were parts where they didn't feel like the two clicked.
I don't know if it ever really felt that way to me, but I will say I probably enjoyed... I think Asher got to do a lot more. Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny. Asher actually got the heavier acting in the movie, to be honest.
I feel like that was a deliberate choice.
I think it was the right choice.
Yeah.
But I do also think maybe it would have benefited to have a couple more vulnerable moments. Not that Zachary never had any vulnerable or emotional beats to do, but
yeah,
he didn't have the heavy punchers. And I think maybe getting like one more with him, where Zachary has that big moment, might have helped click it better.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad they gave a lot of that stuff to Asher, and he was just so good. Freddie was hilarious.
Yep.
I can't remember that poor kid's name.
Jack Dylan Grazer, who everyone on the planet knows was Eddie in It.
Yeah. And it was so funny because afterwards I was like, I know he's in It, but which one was he? And I had to really think about it for a minute because I just got so caught up in him as Freddy.
Yeah.
Who's so totally different.
Mm-hmm.
But he was really good. The scene when Billy says he wishes it was him. Freddy wishes he was the one with the powers. Such a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
And Freddy did so good at that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did we ever see... This is kind of not off topic, but did we see Shyvana's mother any?
No.
Okay.
She was a non-entity.
She was cast, though.
Huh.
And she was played by Natalia Safran, who played the Queen of the Fisherman Kingdom in Aquaman. And then I guess they cut her scenes.
That's so
Which is funny
considering
the wizard is the Fisherman King.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. No, that is funny. That is funny. No, she was... We'll get to Savannah. But his mother was a non-entity in this. Mary, I think, could have been a little bit more developed, but she was really good.
Well, Mary... My thing was, Mary... I thought Mary had a... Okay, I thought she had a decent compared to the fact that Pedro and Eugene were very underdeveloped as characters.
Yes, this is true.
They were the sacrificial lambs.
Of course, there always are some.
Because they were juggling an entire pretty decent-sized group of characters.
Yeah, and it was set in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
But the girl, I think it was Grace.
Yes, Grace Fulton.
Grace Fulton. She was very good. She had a very sweet, nurturing, warm feel to her, which was perfect.
I know she's in Annabelle Creation, so...
Oh, I guess David Sandberg really liked her. Pedro and Eugene, I would love to see more of them in the next ones.
Yeah.
They were both charming in the little bits we got with them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the queen herself.
Darla.
Oh my goodness. She's so precious. She's just so precious. And she's just so desperate for her family.
Also, can I just say, I really appreciate the fact that this movie did not drag out the whole secret crap.
Oh, I know.
The parents still know, but the kids figured it out pretty quickly. Which is a hilarious scene.
It is. Partly for Darla.
Yeah. Because she finds out before the others.
Yes. She winds up finding out before any of the others besides Freddy. And she's sworn to secrecy. And she's just... It's killing her not to tell everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But the others figure it out, and then she's just elated because now she doesn't have to keep that secret anymore. But she was so good. I cannot remember the little girl's name.
Faith Herman.
Right. And I remember seeing her on the premiere video for Shazam, and she was talking about Wonder Woman, and she wants to meet her, and I'm just like, just let this little girl meet Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Let
this little girl meet Wonder Woman. That's all I want in the sequel. Let Darla meet Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, that's the kids. The parents, the foster parents, were also really good.
They actually had more development than I thought than I was expecting.
They did. They were kind of They were kind of unsung heroes, to be honest.
I was expecting them to be props.
Yeah, but no, they, the little bit of that they had gave them depth, and you really felt them caring for these children and wanting to do right by them and wanting to give these kids maybe what they themselves had needed, because we find out they were foster kids as well when they were growing up, and that's kind of what spurred this on, and that was just really heartwarming. The foster family element the found family element was really, really good. It did a great job of focusing on family that you choose.
Yes.
So that was really good. I enjoyed that. And then on the flip side, we have Mark Strong returning as another DC villain. Previously, he was a rather decent, but completely wasted
Sinestro, which will go down in history as one of the biggest wasted opportunities, at least in a superhero film.
Yeah. But he gets to really, really show his stuff as Dr. Savannah. Dr. Thad.
Thaddeus Savannah, who gets called Thad by
his father.
See, that's why he really turned evil.
That's his villain origin story. He was named Thad.
It wasn't the abuse, which was really horrific. The opening scene where he gets chosen by the wizard, but then fails the test and ends up inadvertently causing a car accident.
He causes a distraction, which causes...
Yeah.
And
gets blamed for his father's paralysis.
Yeah. I mean, he was already the scapegoat.
Yeah.
And the punching bag of the family, so why not? This movie definitely had some things to say about toxic masculinity. I appreciate that. Again, stay away from John Glover.
Yeah.
He's just your villain origin story, okay? It happened with Poison Ivy, it happened with Lex Luthor, and now it happened with Dr. Savannah.
Yes.
So, John Glover, bad news. I don't really mean that, John. You seem like an extremely charming person.
Yeah.
But DC really loves typecasting you.
Yeah, they do.
But no, Mark Strong was so good.
Mm-hmm.
He had such a presence without it being super big intimidation factor. Like it was a very subtle creep factor.
Yes.
I would say. And you do understand why he's so easily manipulated by the Sens.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a tragedy. He really is perfectly molded for the Sens by his father and his brother.
Yep.
And you get why the wizard's rejection messes him up so bad. So, they did a good job at that, but they also didn't focus on that too hard and really try to hammer in the sympathy aspect. It was like, yeah, this is why he's like this. And
you have a little scene where Billy, as Shazam, is sort of trying to reason with him, saying he knows what it's like to spend your whole life looking for something, even if it'll lead to disappointment.
Yeah. But the movie doesn't really dwell on it too much, so it never feels big bad whoopee territory. Which
he's not Loki.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say he's Zod.
No. There is a scene that's in a clip online that is probably one of the funniest scenes in a superhero film ever, to be honest. And that is when they're both flying in the air and they're like a mile away from each other. And Dr. Savannah starts going on his big epic villain speech, and then we keep cutting back to Shazam, who's like, I can't hear you.
They actually took that from, I don't know if this movie was the first one to do it either, but that was actually in a scene in Kung Fu Panda 2.
Oh.
When Po goes to rescue them from the villain, and he's doing this big hero speech, and none of the villains can hear him. Because he's like all the way across the village.
Yeah. But it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then there is a moment at the end that is not going to spoil it, but I was a little emotional. I would have been a little more emotional if I could have seen his face. Not to give away what we're talking about, but
yeah.
And then, of course, there are a couple scenes after the mid-credits, and then a scene after the credits. But overall, acting was really solid. The characters were all great. The found family aspect was just beautiful. And I will say it is slightly unfortunate of coming out right now because it is actually kind of a Christmas movie.
It is. It's set during Christmas and it actually focuses on it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I can't help but wonder if they were intending... Well, no, because they always had it... Before BVS even came out, or right after BVS, they had always pegged it as a April release.
Yeah. So, but I guess David Sandberg just wanted to make it a Christmas movie.
I feel like because they were filming part of it in December.
This is true.
So
it'll come out in time for Christmas. So we now have a new DC classic to watch at Christmas time alongside Batman Returns. Highlights for you.
Okay, I'm trying to think of highlights without going into super spoiler territory.
Other than Darla. She's an angel. We all love her.
No, a lot of the character scenes were really good. The scene when Darla finds out is hilarious.
Yeah.
The boardroom scene when Savannah goes and confronts his father and then lets loose the sins.
Very intense scene. Very intense.
Yeah. Very violent, and the sins themselves are very well-designed monsters.
Yes. They really look demonic.
I think the one that stood out the most to me, just because of how disgusting it looked, was Gluttony.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the simple reason that it's the biggest one, and its mouth splits its entire torso open, except inside there's nothing. You can see its spine in the back, so it's literally just skin and teeth.
Yeah, and fleshy insides.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little freaky. I can't keep them all straight, but I think Lust was the one with the freaky tongue.
Pride was the one that looked like it would have been what Dracula looked like if Van Helsing had been made today. There was something about it that seemed very vampiric.
And I can kind of see it. To me, it looked very, like, winged demon.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something. It was something about the face, the nose. There was something bat-like about it to me.
Yeah, but they were all pretty intense looking.
Yeah, and they get some stuff to do. Okay, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but the entire finale is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
You'll see why.
Everything with Darla in the finale is gold.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say, but it's all gold. It is all gold. Probably everybody already knows the climax, but we're just in case you haven't and you've been avoiding spoilers, we won't get too deep into that.
Yeah, and haven't had people, because I've seen people leaking parts of the scenes.
Oh my gosh. Jerks.
Sadly, they kind of... Somebody... I'm not gonna...
I mean, to be honest...
Somebody screwed up and leaked a full cast list while they were filming.
Oh,
that
right.
That revealed what they were gonna do.
Well, also Funko, kind
of. Yeah, nice job, Funko.
Yeah, thanks, Funko. And of course, as with any DCEU movie, there's always the talk of, oh, does this mean they're course correcting? Is this really sad? Is it connected? Blah, blah, blah. This is probably, like, the most connected.
There was a line early on, and I'm just going to talk about, because, I mean, this isn't really a big spoiler. It doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
But it's when Billy meets Freddy, and he sees the Batarang, which looks like one of the BVS Batarangs. And Freddy said, oh yeah, that's the old Batarang.
Yeah.
Like, that line in particular stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm. Or a replica, anyway.
So, yeah. Like that bullet.
Yeah.
Like, Freddy, I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm pretty sure that bullet was not not really hit Superman.
Pretty sure. But now he can get all the ones that bounce off Shazam.
Yeah, including the one that hit him in the face.
Yeah, a couple of them hit him in the face.
They're lucky none of them didn't ricochet off and hit somebody.
I know. But no, this is probably the most connected movie of the DCEU. Friday himself, he's constantly changing shirts to represent a different member of the Justice League.
Yeah.
He's got a Superman backpack, and there's just a lot of references. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. The end credit sequence, the animation was hilarious.
Yeah. They definitely reference the other Justice League members in that.
Yeah. It also had parts where it panned out and it was like on a desk and you could see like figurines, including like the DCU Wonder Woman and stuff.
Yeah. So it was definitely connected. There's even a time where they're in the toy store and they see all these different DC figures and things.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, the Batman figure that he throws, I think I remember that is Kevin Conroy.
I'm not sure if it is. Some people still think it is. Someone else was saying, a couple other people said they heard it wasn't. So...
Okay.
It might be Kevin, it might not be.
Okay.
Don't take our word for it.
Yeah. We're just saying what we think. I don't know. I couldn't tell.
It kind of sounded like him, but it also might not have been.
Yeah, it was really hard to tell.
Yeah.
So, final thoughts?
My 3 favorite DCEU movies are this, Batman v Superman, and Aquaman. And it's for different reasons, but I basically rank them all on the same level.
I probably have a similar top 3. I would definitely put it up there. It was just a lot of heart.
Yeah, this one had the most heart, I think, out of any of the films.
I don't know, it's so hard for me to say because love is so important in all of the DCEU films, which I really appreciate. I do.
Okay, I think the way it presented its heart was the best presentation of it out of the others.
I definitely say they did a really good job.
Yeah.
It was a very unique way to present it, I feel like. It was very different from not just DCEU movies, but a lot of superhero movies.
Yeah.
They were all basically kids of varying ages.
Yep. And
it really dealt with found families and siblings and things like that. So, but it still kept the emphasis on mothers.
Yes.
That the DCEU is very well known for, which I am very happy it continued that tradition. So, I definitely recommend it.
So
maybe
do I.
8 out of 10?
I'd honestly almost give it a 9. It was just really good to me. It was just really good.
So we'll be like 8.5, 9 out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. That has been GeekyDreadful's review of
Shazam.
Mazas.
Yeah, we're never gonna get that, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a story for another time. Oh! And a Black Adam shout out!
Can you smell what the Eternity Rock is cooking?
What the Rock of Eternity is cooking.
Yeah, what the Rock of Eternity is cooking.